Palmistry reading of a male whose age is 45 years old. He had taken a reading previously and two years back, so I'm giving a reading again now to him. He wanted to inquire about certain questions. The first question basically he has, I am into manufacturing, how will be this particular year for me? Now he's around the age of 45. So we have to look at two lines. Actually, we have to look at the whole palm in general and at the money line. This is the money line that you see out here, and the sun line. The sun line is the career line. Money line is basically the resources line. So if these lines are good, the chances of the person doing good in their life increases. So, but at the same time, we have to look at other lines as well to arrive at the conclusion. So first, I would go one by one. The first thing I would go with the money line as well as the line of sun. So I'm going to just zoom in out here and I'm going to mark where the age 45 is going to be. So this point is age 35. This point is age 53 on the money line. A money line may appear something like this. I'm just giving you an example. Money line may appear something like this, and somewhere in the middle out here is going to be age 44. That's the rough estimate I would basically give you. So coming back out here, I'm just thinning the line so that you can see it much more clearly. So this is the point that is going to be age 45. So you would notice somewhere after the age of 45, there's a V-like thing that is forming. V-like thing is forming and it is pointing towards two fingers, the finger of Saturn, the finger of money, and the finger of sun, the finger of creativity, art and music and risk-taking and brilliance. All these things are depicted, and name and fame and luck as well. So if a formation of a V-like portion is forming on the money line, that is considered to be a good sign. The reason why we say it may be a good sign is because it is something like energy is penetrating the fingers from all the fingers, and different qualities is entering your life, and they kind of get accumulated wherever there is a V. So this portion of the life becomes significant where the V formation is there. So the V formation, we can say, is somewhere after the age of, let's say this point is age 44. So this point is roughly going to be 47 or so, where we can expect betterment to come to this particular person. When we zoom in out here, you would notice that there's a slight change in the line of money. I'm just going to draw out here. You notice out here, this is the line that is original. It is kind of breaking, and this kind of a formation is there. This kind of a new formation is there. So a simple line is much better that we find in the later portion. This particular portion is much better compared out here. Although still you would find a triangle like a formation forming on the line of money, so that can be seen as a good sign, but this is the past. We have to look into the future. So I can certainly say that things are likely to be much better as things progress. This is the first aspect, the V portion I've just indicated out here. The second thing is regarding the line of sun. Again, even on the line of sun, the sun line is something like this. Everybody has. Some people have, some people don't have. This intersection of the head and the money line is age head, and the sun line is age 35. The heart and the sun line intersection is age 53, and this portion is roughly going to be age 44, 45. That's the rough estimate, I would say. So the way we say is 53 plus 35 divided by 2 comes 44. So that's the reason why we say 44 out here. So as such, the sunline is reasonably good. There appears to be some changeover out here happening before the age of 44, but then basically it stabilizes. The money line stabilizes And as it progresses, it becomes better and better, and still better after the age of 53. So, although at the same time you'd notice that there appears to be a problem line. This is a problem line that kind of comes and is kind of coming nearer to the sun line. It is not touching the sun line, but it is just pointing a little bit closer to it. It is coming near to the sun line. So these horizontal lines that you see out here, these are kind of negative lines. And the area of Mars is the area of anger, aggression, and fire. So a line originating on the mount of Mars negative, that kind of comes nearer to any particular line, there it may create a little bit of disturbance. But because this line is not touching, this Mars horizontal line is not touching the main sun line, that is a reason why the person may appear to see a problem, but ultimately that problem is going to basically die down as it approaches. So this is one way of looking at it. Now, Mars, don't think that any planet is good and any planet is bad. All have got their own qualities, and it depends how good the planet lines are, that would give you that kind of result. Now, the portion of the sunline, this portion of the sunline that we see out here, one line, two line, three lines, there are two or three lines. Generally, people do not have these kind of lines. These lines may appear, and these lines are more after the age of 53. These lines appear to be after the age of 53, because it is above the heart line, so it is above the after the age of 53. Now these lines are excellent lines. They may appear to be very, very simple, but yet I would rate them as the best possible lines a person can have. Simple lines are the best possible lines in my opinion. Some people have got different opinions. Some people would say a fish sign or those kind of signs, but my opinion is that the simpler the lines, the better result they are likely to give to you. Just briefly, I'll just show you one particular hand, the hand of Warren Buffett, and I'm just going to show a bigger image. Notice a simple line out here. Notice out here, it is forming a V-like thing, that I agree, but even a simple line can be good. And notice these particular lines that Warren Buffett has. So this is his hand, and take a look at your own hand. Now the sun line is also good, and the Mercury lines are also good. These are the Mercury lines. These are multiple lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines. If we just go purely by the palmistry book, the palmistry book says that a person who has this kind of a line formation is likely to be an excellent doctor. This is what the book is saying. Now it is not necessary that every person who has these Mercury lines would become doctors. It is not like this, because these lines are the lines of skill, calculations, and communication. Now these skills can be in anything. It can be in statistics, it can be in biology, it can be in chemistry, the person be in business, because in business what you require is calculations. You need to be good at your networking skills. You need to communicate. You need to have a knowledge of law as well. So all these things are necessary in order you to be able to face all the problems that you are likely to face in your business venture. Because if you don't know the knowledge of law, you can make mistakes, and then there are going to be penalties. But I would say that these are perfect lines a person can have. This is the best possible lines a person can have. And because you have these particular lines, the chances are that every problem that you are facing, you may have calculated for those problems as well. So because such people can never ever make mistakes. Never ever they can make mistakes, nor in the past, nor in the present, nor in the future. And even let's imagine let's imagine that this person did make a mistake. Let's take an example, like the person, for example, a person ventured out into something else, and then he finally realized that it is not a work that can make money. So such people would basically, a person who has good lines over the Mount of Mercury, they would realize that, okay, the calculations are not working out, so let me just get out of that particular work. Okay, so calculations matters the most. So we can't say 100% that that things are going to fall according to what I'm saying, but yes, the calculations of such a person and the communication part, everything is going to be perfect. These multiple lines that you see out here are the lines of skills, calculations, and communication. Apart from this particular line, you would also notice that you have a perfect kind of a money triangle as well. Money triangle is a formation. I can show you some other hand as well. This is the money triangle like formation that you have. This is the money triangle. This is the Mercury line. This is the money line, and this is the headline. So when all three lines are good, some people may claim to have a money triangle, but they may never have a money triangle. The reality is they may have these broken kind of lines, something like this, and they say, oh, I've got a money triangle. That kind of a money triangle is of no use. You need to have very clear-cut kind of lines. Only then we would consider and put it in the category of a good money triangle. So the quality of this money triangle is good. That is the reason why I say that possibilities for throughout one's life, from the early portion till the last portion, are likely to be good 100%. You must notice this person's palm as well. He's Sergey Brin, one of the Google founders. Just notice the money triangle formation that you see out. Mercury line, good. The money line, good. And the headline, perfect. So this is how it basically should be. So, and another person's hand, Bill Gates' hands. Now, even he has similar kind of a line, this money triangle. Now, we can't say with certainty if you have got a money triangle, you would become a millionaire or a billionaire. Those things basically we can't say at all. We have to basically, those conclusions cannot be made. But yes, when we find that the lines are stable, then we say the possibilities become much better. So the money triangle is there. The money line is ending on the headline. That I do agree. Then it kind of restarts out here, and then it kind of breaks, and then it restarts again. So this new line is basically somewhere around the age of 44-45. That's when this formation is there, and things are likely to become good as the person progresses. The quality of the money line is also towards the end, after the age of 53, better, and it becomes even better somewhere after this particular break that you see out here. So I would say with certainty that things would stabilize as you progress. I would now take this other question: Do we need any changes to be done? This is the question: How will be the financial health this year or the next year? That I've already mentioned. Having trouble in production and finances. Now, for production and finances, see, when we are producing something, we need to have good quality. To get good quality, you need to have good set of skills. Even if you don't have all the skills, you should have a knowledge whom to hire and whom not to hire. So with some tests and all, the person would be able to judge, would be able to make a good judgment that who is likely to give a perfect production to them. Either they themselves can, they can with their knowledge be able to produce the best possible product, or they would hire somebody and basically get the best kind of product. Even for finances as well, he has asked regarding financial health and having trouble in production and finances. So finance part is basically from there are two areas of finance part. One is basically the area of calculation. This is the area for calculation. So calculation part perfect. I've already explained, because these lines are there. These long lines also you would find these lines in very few people. People may have these Mercury lines, but they would be very, very weak, very dull, very unclear kind of lines. They would be something like this. I'm just drawing something like this. They would have something like this, and these would basically would be of no use. I'm just zooming in. Just notice the kind of lines a person may have. So you have perfect kind of lines, and once we have perfect kind of lines, the chances of the person not making mistakes in their calculation and communication increases, even in your finance, even in your technical aspect. So I would say you would come out of the problem as you have done in the past as well. Past, when we say past, we are talking right from childhood. Right from childhood, we have been able to come out of any problem because of your knowledge, because of your skills. That is the reason why even now also you are likely to come out of your problem. Now, when we talked about the finance part, the person said finance. So finance is basically seen from two areas. The Mercury area I've already explained. The little finger area, this area I've already explained. Now we would basically move on to the other area, and that is the area for Saturn. Now towards the end of your money line, you would notice it is purely and purely targeting towards the center of the Saturn finger. Now towards the end of the Saturn finger also, it's purely on the mount. This is the triradii. This is the skin pattern that you see out here. Okay, we are not talking about the lines, we are just talking about the skin pattern. It is under all the fingers, and the money line is purely ending on top of the Saturn mount. Would be the Saturn mount. Now this Saturn mount can shift towards this side, a little bit towards this side, or towards this area of Jupiter, or towards the area of the mount of Sun. So it can move towards any of these areas, but this center is purely and purely in the center of the finger. So that is the reason why we would say that it is a good sign regarding finances. The other aspect is the heart line is kind of coming nearer to the it is not purely on the amount of Saturn, but it is more towards the Saturn area. So that's the reason why the person would be good at finances, and the person would respect money, the person would value money, and the person is likely to make more money, pray for money. All these things are basically there in his life, and people who have these kind of qualities are likely to be able to make more money in their life. A heart line that is long, they would be bad in their finances. They would kind of have idealism, unrealistic expectation. So those unrealistic expectations wouldn't give you result. A person who respects money, values money, and is respecting each single pie also, single rupee also, those are the ones who are likely to make more money in their life. I do agree to some extent that the Venus is a little bit prominent. So when it is prominent, so the person could be extravagant as well to some extent. It's not super prominent, like, so it doesn't have super padding. If it would have super padding on the mount of Venus, then it would be too much of spending. But it is reasonable. It is reasonable as to have like not doing anything in excess, like not overspending. To some extent it is there, but not to a very, very high extent. Now coming back to the question, what is the thing that I am missing? So I would say everything is good, or do I still have to fight to survive? This is one part, all related to business activity. These are the questions. And finally, the health part. These are the questions. So you want to know that will it always going to be fighting? I would say that that use your mind, use your skills to better it, use your networking. Everything is going to fall in place and things are likely to be extremely good. This kind of a pattern of palm I would rate to be the best possible kind of palm that I generally see. And once I see this kind of a pattern of palm, I would say that however the big the problem may be, the person basically has the ability to come out of the problem. And how do we come out of the problem? There are two things. Either you have that area of Mars to be very good, that is the fighting spirit, but that fighting spirit may work or may not work for you, but the knowledge is always going to work for you. This is the area for knowledge and skill. So a person who has got knowledge and skill of everything, they can come out of the problem sooner or later. So I would say that things are going to fall in place. Be more focused on the work that you are doing, and if you're focused, things can improve. This is the left hand of this same person. Generally people do have different left and right can be totally different, but in this case it's quite similar. The Mercury line is good. There's a money triangle also. Generally we don't find this kind of an indication in most of the hands that a person may have a money triangle in one hand and they may not have a money triangle in the other palm. But in this case we do find that the money triangle is there in both the palms. In this particular hand image, you would notice that the sun line is coming and kind of ending out here. So it is ending somewhere closer to the age of 44 or so, and a new one is basically developing. And this new one is good, so you can expect better prospects as time goes by. And I'm very certain that these lines are excellent lines. 100% these are very, very good lines. And you also do have got this Jupiter line. Jupiter is the big planet. Big planet means growth and expansion and honor and respect, position and power. So all these things are likely to be there throughout your life, because this line is joining the lifeline in the early portion of your life. And if it joins the early portion of your life, it remains with you throughout your life. So a desire to be at an honorable position, you have to have those kind of desire. Only then you are going to get those things in your life. Like you would get honor only when you desire it, and desire it intensely. Only when you desire money, the heart line ending under the Mount of Saturn, only then you would get more money. So what we desire and what we work are the things that we get in our life. So quality of the hand, I would say I would rate them to be the best possible. You just need to work, that's it, and things are going to fall in place 100%. And I would just end my video out here, and thank you for watching this video. Bye and take care.